Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for the next few videos, Who Dat Nation, we're going to be doing something I like to call draft profiles. Now, we know that the Saints have several needs that need to be met. A lot of players they could possibly draft, a lot of positions they can draft. So we're going to be breaking some of those players down that could land with the Saints. And on this edition, we're going to be talking about wide receiver Laviska Shenault. Now, for those that don't know who Laviska Shenault is, he's a 6'2", 220-pound wide receiver out of Colorado. And I know he probably wasn't a household name. He's a 21-year-old kid. He's out of DeSoto, Texas. And we all know that Texas is one of those states where, some of the best football players come from. He goes up to Colorado and he makes a name for himself. The Colorado Buffalo football team didn't really have a successful season. They finished the season with 5-7, so they wasn't bowl eligible. But in the process, Shenault really made a name for himself this season. I think he had I'm looking at these stats, 764 yards and 6 touchdowns. And I think that this guy is a really good, solid receiver. And I think he's going to be one of those guys that could possibly land with the New Orleans Saints at the 24th position. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the pros that I've seen. First off, I want to just address the fact that I like his upside, man. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. He's big, he's physical, and he can take the wear and tear of a long 16-game NFL season. Also, what I like about him is the yards after the catch. When he gets the ball, he could make guys miss. He can break tackles. And I also like his speed. We all like Michael Thomas. We like his hands. We like his route running. But we know he's not the fastest receiver in the world. But I feel like with Shenault, he can get those yards after the catch, and he can actually break one to go yards. He kind of reminds me of a young Brandon Marshall. Now, Brandon Marshall was a really good receiver, with the Denver Broncos. And one thing that really stood out was how he turned into a running back after he got the ball. He was stiff-arming guys, making guys miss. He was elusive. Some of the plays that I seen from Shenault, he was lined up into the backfield. They had him like in a wildcat formation. He was out there, basically doing jet sweeps, and he was able to get yards. So I think that's a plus. With the cons is some things I feel like he needs to clean up. Is his route running. He's not that strong of a route runner just yet. Can he break off press coverage? Absolutely, I've seen that. But some of the route running that I've seen, it needs to improve. But it's not anything that I feel like would prohibit a team from drafting him early. Also, in the blocking game, I think he struggles just a tad bit. Receivers, when they have a lot of talent, sometimes the ability to block gets swept under the rug because they don't, focus on that because they're too focused on trying to be the best receiver possible. But he needs to work on his run blocking. I think that's key, especially like when you have players like Kamara and Latavius Murray that need to run out of backfield, and the Saints like to run halfback tosses. So when you're running halfback tosses, it's very important that the lead blocker, the guard, gets out there, and also when the running back gets out there, on the edge, that the wide receivers are able to block downfield in order for him to spring one. So I think he needs to work on his blocking, but his field vision is incredible. His decision making is incredible from what I see. And I think that he has a lot of room to grow. He's a big physical guy, and I think that the Saints would be lucky to have a guy like him. He has really good hands. I'm not really concerned about him not having 1,000 yards playing for Colorado because, once again, they weren't a very good football team this season, man. They struggled in a lot of ways. Quarterback play, they didn't have the same quarterback. They was rotating guys in and out of the lineup. So I think his play kind of suffered from that. But when he was on the field in the Pac-12, he definitely was one of the best players on the field. But that is the draft profile of Laviska Shenault. And, I encourage you all to check out the Facebook page of the State of the Saints podcast. I have some highlights of Laviska Shenault on the page right now where you all can view and check them out. And, also take it upon yourself to look at some of those YouTube videos on Shenault and get an opinion about him. Let me know what you all think. Do you see something else that I may have missed? But I think that he will be there at the 24th position. And if I was the Saints, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would put Laviska Shenault at a 7 for the Saints to draft. But this has been a State of the Saints podcast. Once again, I would like to know what you think about Laviska Shenault. That's a tough name to say. Laviska Shenault. There it is. Tell me what you think about him. Comment down below, like and share this video. And also check out the State of the Game podcast that's available on YouTube as well. The description for the State of the Game will be available in this description box. So if you have not already, please subscribe to the State of the Game podcast. We talk every hot topic in sports on that podcast. So be sure to check it out and support it. I'm looking for you all's help to help grow that channel. And also Facebook.com, search State of the Saints podcast, and Facebook.com, search State of the Game podcast. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?